In the heart of Obudu, where the hills whispered stories to the winds and the streams sang the memories of old lovers, lived a girl named Ogi. With skin like bronze in the evening sun and eyes that caught the light like the Obudu stars, Ogi was the kind of girl people spoke of in metaphors. By 2009, she had just turned 22, and with that came suitors, many of them. But two names stayed on everyone's lips. One was Chief Order's son, Raymond, a man with a car before most had bikes, a house with glass windows, and a bank account that was fatter than most. People said he loved Ogi because he always brought her things, Ankara from Lagos, gold earrings from Abuja, and once, even a blackberry calf, the first in her entire community. But she rejected all. The other was Orizmus, a tall, wiry boy with a crooked smile and shoes that had been stitched more times than he could count. He had no house of his own. He lived with his uncle, a professor, in a compound filled with books instead of bricks. But what Orizmus lacked in wealth, he made up for with words. He once told Ogi, "If I could touch the sun, I'd wrap its warmth around you. But all I have is my heart, and I hope it's warm enough to hold you through Harmattan." People still whisper about the first time he met her. He had frozen, completely lost in her presence. All he could manage to say was, "Wetin I won't tell you wey dem never tell you before." And that alone made her smile like morning. But not everyone was happy. There was Agatha, the girl who had loved Orizmus for years. She was pretty too, though not like Ogi. She tried to force her way into his life, but he once told her, "Ogi is like a magician, when I see her, every other girl disappears." From that moment, Agatha believed Ogi had bewitched him. The village watched. They whispered. They judged. One day, after a long argument with her father, who was trying to convince her to marry Raymond, Ogi ran to Orizmus' house, her eyes wet with tears and her voice shaky with frustration. She told him everything. Orizmus, in his usual calm way, looked at her gently and asked, "You remember when your late mother said she wanted the best for you?" Ogi, already smiling through her tears because she knew he was building up to something, looked up at him. And then he said, softly but confidently, "It was me she was talking about." In that moment, Ogi became so happy she forgot she was even sad. Her heart lit up like the Obudu sunrise. Without thinking, she threw her arms around him and hugged him tightly, burying her face in his chest like she had just found home. The room was quiet, just the sound of her breathing and the weight of a love that had refused to bend. Then came the storm. Raymond, humiliated by Ogi's choice and furious that she still spent time with Orizmus, used his father's influence to strike back. One evening, while Orizmus was walking with Ogi near the stream, Raymond confronted him. They fought, and Orizmus was arrested for harassment. Everyone knew it was a setup. Orizmus spent 2 nights in the dusty village cell. It could have been longer, but Ogi didn't stay silent. She stormed the station, confronted the elders, and stood in front of Chief Order's gate shouting his name. The story spread like wildfire through the Harmattan wind. Embarrassed by the scandal and ashamed of his son's actions, Chief Order quietly ordered Orizmus' release. Raymond, now fully disgraced, left the village not long after. But love stayed. With his uncle's support, Orizmus applied for a scholarship to study literature at the University of Calabar. He passed. Through it all, Ogi stood by him, sometimes with the small change she made selling zobo and buns with her cousin Nana, and sometimes with just her presence, her strength, her quiet belief in him. He graduated with honors. In the years that followed, Orizmus wrote a novel titled The Gods Are Behind, inspired by their story, by injustice, resilience, and the power of love. It became a national bestseller, read from Obudu to Abuja. People called it a love letter to courage. And still, through every rising chapter of his life, Ogi remained his constant, his muse, his home. When he finally returned to Obudu, the entire village came out to welcome him. There were drummers, palm wine, kola nuts, old women dancing in wrappers, and children running barefoot with excitement. It was not just a homecoming, it was a celebration of love that had survived the odds. At the center of the crowd stood Ogi, quiet and graceful, watching him with the same eyes that had once undone his words. Someone handed Orizmus a microphone. He held it, took a breath, and smiled. Then, slowly, and with the voice of someone who had waited years for the right moment, he opened a small handwritten book titled Waiting I Won't Tell You. And before the entire village, he read the poems written for Ogi. Each word he spoke danced through the air like music, and by the time he finished, tears of joy were streaming down Ogi's face. She didn't try to stop them. Love had found its voice. Later that evening, under the soft light of lanterns and stars, Orizmus got on one knee, still holding her hands, and said, "This time, I know exactly what to say." She smiled, and the hills of Obudu smiled with her.